How low can Bitcoin go? Analysts are saying that Bitcoin hits $45,000 on this dip. JP Morgan says in about 1 month, Bitcoin's going to be at $42,000. How realistic are these bearish price predictions?
I know it sounds
Right.
crazy, but that's not crazy for Bitcoin. It's done that many, many times before.
We know that these ETFs are still steadily soaking up Bitcoin supply, and the halving should be good for price. Or no? You know it's not uncommon to see 20%, 30%, 40% dips even in a Bitcoin bull market. If that's the case, this Bitcoin dip falling to $45,000 actually very realistic. If Bitcoin does fall to $45,000, a lot of altcoins probably get wrecked. But what do you think? How low can Bitcoin go realistically? Let's talk about this. Let's answer this. Before we answer that, let's talk altcoin news. Smash the like button. Let's talk altcoin news. Uniswap, the name brand decentralized exchange, just crossed 1 million mobile app downloads. This DApp was once just for the degens, once just in the underground, now at the forefront of the mainstream, crossing 1 million. Next stop, 1 billion. And this big crypto milestone could not have come at a better time as retail continues to slowly come back into crypto. Ethereum's Denkun upgrade has now been fully implemented and Ethereum layer 2 fees down over 90%. Avalanche doing something very interesting in an attempt to promote meme coins and culture on their chain. They're actually buying and holding onto community coins. They're holding meme coins. The Avalanche Foundation has disclosed its first 5 community meme coins that it is holding onto, and in a low-key way, majorly supporting these 5 Avalanche-based meme coins: Cock Inu, Gecko, Kimbo, No Chill, and Tech. I think Avalanche is doing this because they see what's happening with Solana. Solana truly shining in its ecosystem and price-wise, and certainly in the meme coin space. Like, Solana is killing it as its price approaches $200 for the first time since 2021. Look at this. Solana is on a major tear right now. There's no way this isn't going to break all-time highs. Are you guys into Solana meme coins or meme coins at all? Seems like Avalanche is feeling the pressure. Interesting moves out of Cardano as they're working with US states and the UK, getting compliant, getting certified. With heavy legal engagement, Cardano is making interesting moves I don't see a lot of other blockchains doing.
What we've seen is that we've been approached from sort of a couple of states in the US who are saying, hey, can you help us to do a lightweight blockchain solution to make it more transparent and accountable in how we're voting? I still sort of have to look at if we can actually make this happen in the time frame they're looking at, because your question was, what does regulators and policymakers think, right? And they're starting to ask questions about business continuity. And when we then showed this, they were like, wow,
Wow, yeah.
right?
And jumping back into Ethereum layer 2s, we're seeing a lot of layer 2s do stuff like this. For instance, Arbitrum eyeing a 400 million crypto gaming fund with a proposal to its DAO. The Arbitrum Foundation announced a program designed to invest 200 million ARB tokens, worth about 400 million, in promoting gaming projects on its blockchain over a 2-year period. This is just an ask to the DAO right now, but there's a lot of reason to think this will get approved. Polygon. Good news for Polygon and bad news for Polygon. Now, the good news is that Polygon's metrics are looking great. New all-time high of 1.2 million daily active addresses, 21 million active addresses on Polygon in the last 30 days. The daily transactions hovering around 5 million for a week, the best since early 2024. However, one of Polygon's biggest partners, and certainly an interesting thing that everybody was kind of excited for at the time, Starbucks issuing NFTs on the Polygon chain, that is shutting down. Sad to see Starbucks go. Now, jumping back to a silver lining, SBF should be facing 40 to 50 years in prison and a $11 billion fine, at least if the DOJ has its way. So, let's answer this question. How low can Bitcoin go realistically? Make sure you subscribe to our channel, turn notifications on. We post 1 video every day, keeping you informed on the entire cryptocurrency market. From Bitcoin's 2024 highs, we've already seen a dip of 11%. If we were to fall to 59K, that would be a dip of about 20%. If we were to fall to about 51K, that would be 30%. And like we said in the beginning, $45,000 is a 40% dip, which is not that uncommon. Personally, I think with the halving coming up, with the ETF inflows continuing to go up, I'd like to see Bitcoin fall down to a little bit farther than this last dip. If Bitcoin hit about 57K, it was about a 20% dip, that would be bullish to me. We'd have a cool off period, we'd come back up. I mean, it's possible we fall this low. These ETF buyers aren't going to be selling at this point in their cycle, right? So the 40% dips of the past could be tapered a little bit until retail comes back in. Here's the thing, guys. If you're just staring at price charts, you're missing the forest for the trees, because this is a technology adoption cycle. Bitcoin is on the S-curve of technology adoption, where it starts off slow, goes really fast, and then eventually tapers off because it's plateaued, it got adopted. The question is, where is Bitcoin in the S-curve of adoption? Guys, make sure you subscribe to our channel. This bull market is just getting started. This is a healthy dip after Bitcoin's run up so much. Watch this clip in full. It's chocked full of value. See you tomorrow.
You sort of compare the adoption of Bitcoin to other technologies, from the internet to cell phones, so forth and so on. So where are we in the adoption curve? Where are we right now in the Bitcoin S-curve?
I would say we're in the very first 1%.
1%.
Yeah, 1%. And I would say, just to give you an example of that, and there's a lot of reasons why I say that, right? So if you sort of say, okay, how many people own Bitcoin and who have over 10% or 20% of their net worth in Bitcoin, right? I would say that number is under 2 million right now, worldwide, okay? We know, we can look at Bitcoin addresses and we can say there are 1 million Bitcoin addresses that have 1 Bitcoin in them right now. But a lot of those addresses can be owned by the same people, right? So I own several addresses that have more than 1 Bitcoin in them, for example, right? So I would say there is probably something on the order of 500,000 whole coiners. So in the entire world, 500,000 people. So that's not a lot in a world of 8 billion people. No, that there's 500,000 people who have 1 Bitcoin. And that's, 500,000 people have $70,000 worth of Bitcoin. That's it. If you look at something like America, how many people have accounts on Coinbase in America? Well, there's 10 million people have accounts on Coinbase, but a lot of them have, $50 or $100 on Coinbase. It's not meaningful as a percentage of their net assets, right? So I think we're about to see a complete change in that, right? Which is, how many Americans own stock? Well, there's 100 million Americans own some form of equity right now, 100 million in their IRAs mainly. So there's the amount of people who own Bitcoin is really, really small compared to the amount of people who own stock or real estate right now. I think in a world of really full Bitcoinization or hyper Bitcoinization, as they say, the majority of people are going to own Bitcoin. And it's going to be like cell phones. 90% of people on this planet have a cell phone. 85% of the people on this planet now, or in America, have broadband internet. 85% of Americans use social media. So, I think these trends tend to go to 80%. We're at 1 or 2% right now, and we're going to 80%. The vast part of this journey is ahead of us. It's not behind us. So I know it sounds crazy, right? Because we're looking at Bitcoin has tripled since January 1st of 23. It's already tripled, right? Or quadrupled, actually. It's quadrupled because it was at 50,000. Now it's over 60,000, right? 70,000. So it's quadrupled since then. But that's not crazy for Bitcoin. It's done that many, many times before. In 2017, it went up 20 times in 1 year.